Should you travel with your dog?
We are.
And we're having a great time.
Yeah.
But there's so many things you need to consider before making that decision. So we're going to jump right into it.
Let's get into it.
First one is cost.
Cost is definitely something that is a given.
It is a lot more expensive than you thought.
Yeah, whatever you're budgeting, it's more probably.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's just some things that you need to be made aware of that will cost money and things that we didn't know existed, but
Like health certificates.
health certificates.
An international health certificate is probably going to be needed for most places you take your dog. Some places require a pet passport. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but international health certificate usually requires a time frame.
Yes,
right?
It's usually, for us, it was 10 days. We had to have it within 10 days.
Yeah.
And of course, you want to have a little leeway on the back of that so you're not cutting it close.
Right.
But
like we did.
like we did, we would cut it too close and had to get another one.
2 health certificates for
which
Mango Man.
cost us more money.
But where we were in Southwest Ohio, $200 per health certificate.
But the vaccines were also part of the cost as well. Not the health certificate, but the overall cost. We had to get extra vaccines for Mango to make sure that he was up to date in order to travel. Mango is our dog, by the way. He's an adorable 1-year-old golden retriever. But we had to make sure that he was a puppy as well. So we had to make sure his vaccinations were in line with our travel dates so that he was all good to go. It did require us to have more flexibility in our schedule and to spend more money to get that done.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, obviously you want your dog also to be protected. You know, this isn't just to follow laws. This is to make sure your dog is safe abroad. Another thing you need to think about is whether or not, you know, the country that you're going to is pet friendly.
Pet friendly, yeah.
You know, because when we were trying to get Mango here, I mean, like she said, we started the journey when he was a puppy.
Yeah.
And
so he was smaller.
So we were planning on traveling to Guatemala in a plane, you know, with him. So we got the airline approved,
the crate,
kennel crate thing, and we were ready to get him on the airline until about, 10 days from leaving?
10 days, yeah. Because that's the soonest you can call to check in to see if you can book your pet.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's another thing.
Getting your pet into cargo on an airline, do your research, do your diligence.
Every airline is different.
Every airline is different. You're going to have to talk to them. You're going to have to call them most likely, not just schedule
Don't trust the websites. The info's outdated most likely.
Yeah. And so
he grew out of his...
Yeah, so 10 days before we left, Mango was too big for his crate.
Which is the largest we could get him on.
To anywhere in Central America, less than like spending upwards of 10 grand.
I mean, you have to get like a private jet. You know, like seriously.
Something like that,
It's crazy.
You have to jump through many hoops at that point. And so what we found out what was easier was to just have him driven down.
Yes.
And so that was an extra expense. We weren't able to get all of our money back from the original plan, which is okay. You know?
Totally okay. But it was a lesson.
Just things, to consider with traveling with a 70-pound golden retriever or whatever your dog is.
Yeah. Another thing, because we are mentioning flights, we had to get a pet relocation service as well, which was money. So you have to pay people to...
Some countries. Where we were going to, Guatemala, where we are now, they required a broker to meet them on to meet your pet on the Guatemalan side to get them through customs.
Yeah, silly us. We were just like, oh, we can walk in and take our dog right off your hands.
Baggage claim, where's Mango?
Right, yeah. So just tons of research and what we had to get and what we had to pay for and what we needed to have done before we got our dog into the country.
Another thing is local laws and regulations, right? Like, how do they treat dogs? How do they look at dogs? Are they
dog friendly?
Yeah, are they dog friendly? Are you going to have to pay for pet deposits? Are you going to have to pay extra for Ubers and taxis and shuttles and buses because you are taking your dog? And a lot of this we're talking about from first-hand experience because we have a larger dog. Yes. Obviously, if you have one that can fit in a
purse dog,
your life is significantly easier. Yes. You could probably make it on the airline to get here, but we didn't. So we were doing this all for the first time. And our dog is pretty big, so that's just where we're at.
So another thing to think about is if there is veterinary service or any kind of ER for your dog, if something happens, you need to be able to get your dog to a place where they can get treated.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate, like where we are, we have a vet that's literally like a mile away. Actually, fun story, just got Mango fixed at that vet and had a wonderful experience, but it was very interesting. But that's something you also need to take.
First time walking the dog to the vet, like, then don't need to get in the car, just walk.
That was so nice.
Super nice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's something you should think about. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, thankfully we had a great vet experience, but obviously if you're going into some other countries, they're not always going to have a reputable veterinary service nearby, and make sure that this is a country you want to take your dog to. And I guess the last thing really is make sure your dog is a dog that can travel. You know, I know it's kind of speaks for itself, or it's a little redundant, but like, don't take your Siberian Husky to the desert. Like, you know, it's
not compatible.
Yeah, make sure the weather where you're going is going to be fair to your
companion.
Yeah, you make sure you can take your dog there. If the weather is not convenient for your dog, you know, keep their best interests at heart.
Right.
You know, if you're traveling long term, these are different things you need to think about.
Is your dog good in transportation? Whether that's a plane, whether that's a car, like think about
the stray dogs.
The stray dogs, like the longevity of your like trip and being successful and having a good time does depend on you doing the research on these things.
Yeah.
And so making sure your dog is compatible to travel is super important.
Dogs are super compatible, dogs are very adaptable is what I was trying to say. They're very adaptable, but at the same time, like, they love a routine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're hitting different cities all the time, you are constantly in and out of airports and trains and around like kind of chaotic stimulation. Overstimulation, you know, these are things that dogs are going to react to. And so
if your dog has anxiety, for instance, you need to know that before getting it on a plane, because that's going to stress your dog out and traumatize it.
Maybe there's some jet sounds on Spotify.
Or crate train your dog if you know they're going to have to be confined for a long period of time. Like, train your dog to be able to do those things. It's important.
Again, it sounds redundant, but these are questions we're getting asked often about how we got Mango here. What did you do to, you know, help him acclimate or prepare? And one of those was we were planning on him getting on a flight. And so we were playing jet sounds when he was going to sleep and stuff to get him.
And we crate trained him for like long periods of time so he could hold his bladder and like.
These are, and so, because we tried to do this as responsibly as we could. And then ultimately, I think we said before, there is a video, definitely check it out on how we got Mango here. But, you know, we tried to do this responsibly. We did already have a dog before we decided to do long-term travel. And so now we're trying to make sure that we can travel the best with him.
Because dogs do complicate, you know, your travel. And that's something that you need to choose if you want to choose the, you know, complication of bringing your pet. For us, it's worth it. We love having our boy with us. He's our child. He's our little world. You know, so for us, this was something we were totally willing to do. But just think about all
It is so inconvenient, though.
It is so inconvenient. And that's something, if you're just taking a short-term trip and you want to have a decision-free vacation, maybe not take your dog, you know? So
yeah, if it's for a couple of weeks, less than a month, if you're able to, you know, have your dog boarded or someone watch them, that probably would be the best, obviously. But if you're going to be long-term traveling, there is significant amount of steps to go through and just things to think about to do it responsibly, easy on the dog, ethically, all of these things. Financially. Plan on adding 15 to 20% on to your trip for pet expenses. You have to think about what you're feeding your dog. You know, how all of
where
the
you're staying, if there's like, you know, a certain, you know, compatibility with where you're staying and how much money that costs.
There's so many things to think about, and travel is a lot of mental fatigue and it's a lot of preparation, and throwing a dog in the mix just adds to that, but that doesn't mean it takes away anything, if that makes sense.
It's all in what you choose to do. And we know this is very dependent on each dog, each owner, each situation, each financial situation. Like, we know there's a thousand things that go into deciding whether you should travel with your dog. But these are some things we wanted to bring to your attention. So hopefully you don't have to go through the painstaking process of finding it out yourself. So we hope this video was helpful to you guys, truly. If you have any questions or anything we didn't address, please drop it in the comment section. That's where you can get a hold of us. Other than that, please interact with this video, like, share, comment, you know.
It matters so much when you leave a comment, when you like the video or send it to somebody. It lets YouTube know that, hey, they actually are speaking about things that some other people want to know about. So please interact with the video like she said, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah,
I think my eyes, they just look so bloodshot for some reason.
they do look kind of bloodshot.
I don't know why. All right.
All right. What is up, my guy?
Should you travel with your dog?
We are.